The fastest 8 go in the A final. The next fastest go in the B final, regardless. So you can be juniors or seniors or whatever. And then the next 8 fastest after that will go in the junior final. So we've got quite a few juniors, and I think there's something like 17 juniors in this women's 400 medley.
It's one of those events that the older you get, the harder it is. So it definitely takes a lot of the sort of inexperience and those younger athletes just giving it a good shot, you know, go out really hard in that first 100, see what happens, and then they develop their own strength and style, so they learn how to pace that first half of their swim. And yeah, so we should be seeing some quicker swims in this B final here.
Well, the junior target time to be considered for the European Junior Championships is 4:52.3. It's achievable, but there's going to have to be a pretty big lifetime best for these swimmers if they're going to do it here in this, this B final. So it is the B final of the women's 400 medley at the 2024 Aquatics GB Swimming Championships. It is the Olympic trial, and it is also the trial for juniors for the European Junior Championships, which are in Vilnius in Lithuania later on this summer. And well, they've set times, consideration times for that. There's already more swimmers swum a consideration time after just 2.5 days than there are spots on the team. So they're now going to have to go to Plan B of the or Section Z or whatever it is of the selection policy, which is the swimmers who beat the consideration time by the highest percentage will be selected. So don't just qualify, but smash it, Hammer.
Yeah, it's a great position, I think, for GB swimming to be in, because, you know, we were really struggling for that depth, and now that we've got, you know, so many getting under that consideration time, it's almost being able to pick the best out of the lot. So, you know, these athletes are going to have to go in and really work hard. There's no holding back. It's give it your all and see what happens.
Well, they certainly are. Look at that up in lane number 1. Shola Robinson is certainly giving it to her all. Fascinating at these championships, we've seen an awful lot of very, very quick swims from the outside lanes. And, well, it's good to see, but first the turn up the 100 metres with Shola Robinson, a great butterfly swimmer. Which was your least favourite stroke on the 400 medley, or least favourite leg, I should say?
Backstroke.
Straight up. You sure you don't want to think about that?
Nope, definitely backstroke. I even think 200 backstroke is underrated as being one of the toughest events. I quite happily do a 200 fly, 400 IM, 200 breaststroke, 1500. Give me a 200 backstroke, and yeah, I'm not going to enjoy it.
I started as 200 backstroke, and I've got to agree with you, because once your legs go, then your lower body sinks a little bit, and then you end up trying to go through the water, I don't know, like a duck, and it's not particularly easy. Rather than a speedboat, you know, you feel like a bit of a speedboat down the first 100, and then suddenly all the wheels fall off. It's not pretty. Anyway, this is pretty good. This first half of this 400 medley, the B final. Holly Marshall of Repton now coming through in lane number 3. She'll be first to turn up the halfway. Very good turn from Shola Robinson. Very quick around the wall, so not much difference splitting them on their hand touch, but very fast around the wall, Shola Robinson. That was impressive.
That was, and that's where the back to breast turn, there are 3 different types of turns. You've got your touch turn, you've got your back flip, and then you've got your crossover. So each athlete's got their own way of doing it. You see a lot of them doing the seated turn, and I think the crossover has been proven to be the quickest one. I was very old school. I used to do the back flip, and that worked for me. But you have to try and get that turn. As soon as you touch, really get those legs over so you can push off, because the more time you spend on the wall, the more time you're wasting on that length.
And it was the backstroke that you liked the least. What about the breaststroke? I mean, for me, the breaststroke was always the hardest, partly because I was rubbish at breaststroke, but also because I tried to push the fly back, and then your legs are just screaming, but it's a leg stroke. How do you make sure that you've got the energy for the breaststroke leg if you're one of these juniors?
That's where I think you can play around with the first 100, and that's why I talk about easy speed, being able to go out in a time that's efficient, that uses not too much energy out of your legs, and you're just holding a slight flutter kick within that fly stroke, not overusing it on the backstroke, so you have the energy for the breaststroke. My stroke rate was really high. I used to do half a pull, half a kick for my stroke, so my tempo was up, and like skimming a stone across the surface of the water, that's what kept my momentum going.
Wow. Skimming a stone across the water. No one ever described my breaststroke as that, I have to say. They described it as lots of things, but they were rather rude. So 100 metres to go, and this is the B final of the women's 400 medley, and closest to us leading at the moment is Ailsa MacDonald of University of Edinburgh, a great breaststroke leg, but maybe just starting to swim away from her now in lane 5 is Emily Smith of Royal Tunbridge Wells. Again, a 14-year-old in 4 and a 14-year-old Emily Smith in 5. Very good indeed. Also going well still is another 14-year-old up in lane 2, Abby Roscoe of Wirral. Really good from these youngsters. Look at this.
Yeah, it's fantastic to see a lot of the youngsters, again, maybe not being hit with that lactic acid burn as much, but they are really taking that opportunity here. You've seen the legs going, and that's hard on that last 100. Everything's burning. You've used every muscle possible within the 400 IM. So to be able to have white water behind you is really, really impressive. And Emily Smith is really taking it home here.
Well, she certainly is. Silver medalist in the national age groups in the 400 IM for the 13-14. So she's going to win the B final at the Aquatics GB Swimming Championships. That's impressive. 4:53.8. A new lifetime best by 7/10 of a second from Emily Smith in the centre. Super swim from her. Second was Abby Roscoe, third Matilda Potter. Amelia Smith. Well, she paced it so well as well, didn't she? Really comfortable. That breaststroke was very strong in the freestyle. Really brought it home.
Yeah, and that's what I talk about. You know, athletes working to their strengths and their weaknesses. And, you know, for her, she really made the most of that last 100 on her freestyle. And, yeah, she kind of brought it home.
So confirmation of the result then of that B final. Emily Smith winning it. Super time, 4:53.8, a new lifetime best.